What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today I want to talk a little bit about the well-formed outcome. Let's get into it. Ba, 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 ba. The well-formed outcome. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Scott King. I run a DJ company over here in Orlando, www.djsorlando.com. And I also run a coaching business, www.coachscottking.com, where I teach the mindset and the practices and the skill set that I learned from NLP, hypnosis, and internet marketers. And I use that in order to build my company throughout the years, and I've had continued growth. So, with that in mind, let's talk a little bit about the building blocks, some of the things that I learned early in NLP class. And this I find to be very powerful. This will help clear out the fog and then get you laser focused on whatever your goal is. And it works a little bit like this. I'll go ahead and share my screen, and I'll leave this in the comments or the document in the description below. So basically, let's talk a little bit about this. What do you want? And what will that do for you? Step number one, what do you want and what will that do for you? So it's very important to get very clear about what the end goal is. So if you have a target that you're aiming at, and let's say you missed the target, at least you know what the target is so you can self-correct. So what do you want? And state it in a positive, proactive I statement. It's a part of your identity. Now, I'd love to talk a little bit about identity, but that would have to be for another video. So basically, any I statements are your identity. Let's just go with, I want to be a full-time DJ. Let's say that you're just starting out and you've got a day job and you haven't decided whether or not you want to make the jump. So first thing would be to state an I statement. And then after that, what will that do for you? So if you were kind of on the fence of leaving the day job, there's a little bit of scarcity there. Maybe you have paid vacation or some sort of retirement set up, and you're like, man, I know I'm doing this 9 to 5, but it's not fulfilling. But I want to be a DJ because that's fun. It's who I am. I love music. I love entertaining people, love the party life, whatever. So again, stated in an I statement, I want to be a full-time DJ. And then whatever your reason is for that, what will that do for you? Well, maybe it's a pay raise because DJs can make a little bit more money for 4 or 5 hours than you could probably make during a regular day job, right? So maybe it's more money, and maybe it's security, or maybe it's prestige. There's a lot of prestigious people out there. I want people to look at me and think that I'm something important. Again, there's 4 different types of people that are motivators, right? Whatever motivates you. So I have a class about that as well. So maybe it's money, or maybe it's prestige, right? Like I want to be on stage and I want people to think I'm important. Or maybe it's like, oh, I'm getting a little bit of a pay raise and that could help with, some of the bills around the house. So number one, what do you want to be and what will that do for you? So the next question comes into play. How will you know when you have it? So basically, you'll know when you have this goal in particular is when you don't have the day job anymore, right? You're making as much money as you need to handle your responsibilities and probably buy some new gear. And from there, you will know you have it when you're not doing the day job anymore. There are also people out there that like to do side hustles, and that just keeps people busy. Yet at the same time, find out what the goal is, be super laser focused on it, and that will help you get there quicker. So the next thing, right? Can it be initiated and maintained by you? All right, so let's talk about this a little bit. So when it comes to your goal setting, let's just say, for example, that you wanted to get a raise at your day job. So in order to get a raise at your day job, that responsibility would be on your manager, right? So it's like putting your life into somebody else's hands. It's like you're not going to get that raise if that manager gets fired or moves along or decides that your coworker is more important than you are. So can it be initiated and maintained by you? So if you wanted to be a full-time DJ, that would mean that you would, want to have the gear and the clientele, whether it's a club gig or, hustling to get weddings or whatever the case may be. As long as you know that you're not putting it into somebody else's hands, you're putting it into your own hands. And from there, are you willing to do the work or what it takes to make that happen? These are some internal questions. Probably want to do a little self hypnosis or a little self meditation to find out if you got what it takes to make that goal happen. All right. So let's look at the next one. How will you know when you have it? Basically, if you're not doing the day job anymore, can it be initiated and maintained by you? You know, do some soul searching. You know, are you willing to do what it takes to make that happen and not put it into somebody else's hands? I do realize as a company that in order to get paid, there are clients that have to pay you. So that's basically, you know, collecting money from somebody else. Yet at the same time, if you look at it like this, that you went out and hustled so hard that you have so many clients that are willing and wanting to give you money for your services. So on to the next one. But that's because you did the work to get them to want to get your services, right? Where and when and with whom do you want it? So set a date. Set a date. So sometimes once you set a date, that will give you the notion, the eagerness, and the sense of urgency to get this done by the date that you set. And you want to make sure that you set something that's realistic, or maybe you want to pressure yourself to get that done even sooner so that you work even harder to get towards the goal that you want. And I can tell you, I've set so many goals in my life that I never thought I would even get close to, and yet super succeeded all of those goals to a point where I now set a goal where I want to be a millionaire. I've accomplished so many goals that I've set my sights on something so high that I don't even know if I'll be able to accomplish it. Yet at the same time, I've seen people in circles that I'm circling around that have already achieved this goal, and to them it's pretty easy. Yet I haven't broken through to that goal. Yeah, at the same time, as my company keeps growing, my goal was to make $1 million, and I did it within 4 years. Now it's time to figure out how to supercharge that. So I'm doing the well-formed outcome as well, and even going over is helping me to clear up what I got going on. So again, let's talk about the next step, which is what resources do you need to achieve the goal or just achieve your desired outcome? What do you have already? So maybe you already got DJ gear, right? The next thing would be, what do you need to acquire? Well, maybe you need to acquire, you know, clients. And how do you get what you need? So let's say you already have the DJ gear. The next thing you need to do is get some clients. And then how would you go about getting clients? So again, coach.king.com will help you get some clients and help you build your business. And here's a few things to kind of get you started in the right direction. Now, when I talk to a lot of people, they're doing word of mouth. So if you do a wedding and then let's say there's 4 or 5 sisters or in the audience, and then you do 4 or 5 weddings from that one. Now, the thing is, that's going to dry up eventually. One of my coaches, he said, referral business does this because you're not spending money to get new leads. Now, the thing that comes with spending money to get new leads is that, do you have a system in play so that you can treat it like a machine if you want to do large numbers of clients? You know, it all depends on where your goal is. Me, again, millionaire. So I focus on people that are millionaires and I emulate the processes that they put in play. And I've learned all these things from taking classes with multiple coaches. And it's finally clicking. Takes me a little while to learn, but at the same time, I'm persistent. All right. So again, is it ecological? So also in NLP, we talk about ecology. Now, let's say that you're not getting any sleep because you're spending all your time, you know, working on getting clients. So is that ecological for your health? Are you willing to go those extra steps to get those extra clients? Or maybe search for a better way. So sometimes, here's a metaphor, right? People out there are like, oh, I want a boat. Well, how much is a boat? Let's just say $50,000. Okay, well, I got the $50,000. Well, is it ecological? Now you have to pay for a boat fee to have it docked wherever it's docked. Now you have to pay for fuel to run the boat. Now you have to pay for someone to go ahead and clean the boat. It's not like you're just getting the boat. You still have to maintain it. So when you think about your goal, the best thing to do is to find somebody who's already in the shoes you're looking to fill and ask them questions to see if that's something that you really want to go towards. Because you could start out with one goal, work really hard, and land somewhere else that could be even better. Yet at the same time, an object in motion stays in motion. And As long as you're keeping your North Star in front of you, you will be good to go. So back to the sheet. Is it ecological? What would you lose to get this outcome? And what would you gain? Would the gains outweigh the losses? How bad do you want it? Are you willing to take those steps? So the next one, and this we have to do a little soul searching. What's stopping you from having your desired outcome already? The only thing stopping you is you. You could have a scarcity mindset and you could be afraid to take that jump. Yet at the same time, you have one life to live, and there are things like regret in the world. Now, they say when somebody's on their deathbed, there's two different types of regret. One type of regret is that you did something and you were sorry for it. Yet at the same time, the other regret is that I wish I would have done more. I wish I would have taken those steps that I was afraid to take, because if you don't take those steps, then you will never know how that would have turned out. And then, of course, the last step in the well-formed outcome. What's one small step you can take today towards that goal? Think about all these things inside the well-formed outcome. I use these as much as possible, and it's always good to sharpen the knife and go back over these things. Now, remember, in NLP, there's three things in order for mastery, right? There's three things for mastery. Number one, you want to learn it. Number two, you want to apply it. And then number three, you want to teach it. And that gives me fulfillment. You guys have been amazing. Thank you for watching the video. I'll leave some links below. I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.